Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gavin. I'm here today to talk about your health. Half of all of you actually will contract an STD in your lifetime. And half of those who will contract an STD actually already have it at this point. So if you look around yourself, 25% of those people have an STD. Everyone you hook up with, 1/4 of those people have an STD. And due to obvious differences in college culture, such as increased sexual activity, especially with multiple partners, college populations tend to be disproportionately affected by STDs. Each of you should consider getting a test done at the UNF facilities. Actually, they're fairly cheap. Costs range from about $30 to $100 depending on the comprehensiveness of the test. As I said, about 1/4 of you in this audience have an STD right now, and most of you will have no idea until it starts to affect and or ruin your life. And once it gets to this point, there's more risk factors. Everything has devolved past the point of testing. Today, we will be examining the statistical and medical uncertainty that comes along with not having been tested, in addition to any concerns or questions you might have for me. The good news is that provided that you are tested, you'll likely have a jump start and be able to more effectively secure your health starting today. My concern is that even though young people account for half of new STD cases, a recent survey showed that only about 12% of these people were tested for STDs in the last year. So it's problematic because the population with the highest concentration of STD contraction is often being tested at lower rates than less at-risk populations like old people. And this is largely due to they often have better insurance or in better financial positions or closer to retirement. But it's still concerning nonetheless. And the CDC actually estimates that undiagnosed STIs actually cause 24,000 women to become infertile each year. And this is along with any other number of risk factors, but if an STD goes untreated for too long, because many of these are just completely symptomless, it can drastically change your quality of life, your options in the future, can affect everything. All right, as I said, most of these STDs are not life-threatening. There's countless cases of conditions worsening due to a lack of testing. For instance, HIV can develop into AIDS, which requires immediate treatment and has killed thousands of people. It's important to know your STD status to stay on top of your health and give you the best possible chance to fight whatever illness you may contract. Many STDs grow more serious and even life-threatening as they remain undetected and untreated in an unsuspecting host. As I said, untreated STDs can affect reproductive health or even leave you with cancer. It's important to get tested regularly to minimize this period of uncertainty and limit the complications that could arise while untreated. So it can't be helped to contract an STD, but the sooner we test and understand what's going on in your body, the better for you, the better the results will be, and the better your future outcomes will be. Now, there are many objections to things like this. I understand the uncertainty. Things I hear most common are like, why would I need to get tested when I feel healthy? I have no symptoms. I work out every day. I'm 20 years old. And it's a good question, but globally, researchers estimate about 2/3 of the population under 50, more than 3.7 billion people, are infected with HSV1, which is a type of herpes, but it's only one strain of herpes. And there's dozens of types of STDs, and herpes is only one of them, and this is only one strain of herpes, but 2/3 of people under age 50 in the world have contracted it. It's a lot of people, 3.7 billion. Herpes is generally symptomless in youth, but as you age, it often begins to affect you and hard, which is why we see extreme cases in the elderly, because their immune systems had effectively suppressed it until the immune system just grew too weak due to old age. And even if symptomless, it could prove helpful to be prepared and aware of what may negatively impact your health down the road. So it's always good to stay on top of that and be informed. Ultimately, without having testing done, you're putting yourself and those you come into contact, especially sexual contact, at risk. And you're spreading disease even further, so you're worsening the problem for everyone. And additionally, you're risking further complication if the condition remains untreated. That 1/4 in this audience, each of you has no clue what side of that equation you're on. And the only way to find out is to take a test. And as I said, about half of all Americans have herpes, and it's one of those things that is incurable. We can treat it like many STDs. We have treatments, we can help you, but you're never going to be cured. That's why it's so important to stay on top of this type of thing. All right. And once again, as I said, due to increased sexual activity, especially with multiple partners, college populations tend to disproportionately affected by STDs. So please go and get this test done. It's $100 compared to your health. And once again, many STDs are asymptomatic, and untreated STDs can have serious health consequences. The only way to secure your future and prevent the degradation of your health and your quality of life long term is to get tested. It's cheap, it's convenient, it's on campus, and I'm here to answer any questions you might have. Stay safe. Have a good evening.